Now, when people pass away, they often donate a body part if they're healthy, like maybe their liver or their heart or their eyes or even their lungs. And it's very important to be able to have a piece of themselves live in someone else. If you have a parent and if you lost a child and somehow a piece of their body part was able to go on and help another person live another 30, 40, or 50 years, that's a very incredible thing as a parent, or if you have a loved one who was able to do that with a part of their body. Just think of what that would do to yourself as a family member to someone who passed away. They live on in someone else. Now, in Amanda's case, none of her body parts were usable because of her years of addiction. But here's the thing. She gave the story of her life so that other people and other families would be able to resonate with them, learn from them. This is why I've dissected her life so that it can go on and help not a few people, not one or two people through her body parts, but thousands of people and eventually millions of other alcoholics, people who are struggling with alcohol use disorder, drug addiction, food addiction, things that are related. And just as importantly, their families, because this is a family disease. And these stories about Amanda and her failures and her successes and how it affected myself and our son and our life together is so important. It's such an important tale to tell from the family perspective and through what Amanda went through. This is why Amanda, A Cautionary Tale, is such an important story to tell. You know, and on the surface, I know a lot of people who are just coming across my page for the first time, they might hear these stories that I tell about Amanda, and they get very disparaged. And you know, they really are very reactive, like I'm somehow disparaging my wife. And unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth, that you need to have some emotional intelligence really to understand what's going on here. And it's not about telling stories and, you know, for somebody who's no longer here and who can no longer defend themselves. That's not what this is about. This is about dissecting a life, talking about her 7 rehabilitation facilities, why she went to them, why they didn't work, why she didn't do the follow-up work, understanding one's purpose, understanding the why. Why did she even start drinking? What were the origins of why she started drinking? How did the progression evolve? You know, we talk about her bariatric surgery, which was a catalyst that she had in 2014, which became a catalyst, I think, which escalated her addiction later on. And these are important things to tell. It's important to understand how that, you know, her behavior and how this disease affected our relationship, how it affected ourselves as a family. It's important to dissect these really, really important subjects because so many people go through this. I mean, in the United States alone, we lose 185,000 people a year just from alcohol use disorder and things related to it. We lose 15,000 people on the freeways from drunk drivers. Worldwide, we lose 3.5 million people. This affects 50% of the population, either directly or indirectly, through this disease. It's an important subject. And unless you have the willingness to take someone and dissect that life, especially someone I knew as intimately as my wife of 25 years, only positive things will come from it, and it will only add purpose to Amanda's life and honor her life to begin with. It's really honoring her. For every person we're able to save, for every family that we're able to put together, it just brings more purpose to her life and the reason why she was here to begin with. And it honors our relationship. And I really, really hope that makes sense. And some of the alarming things for me is people really get hung up in the details when I talk about vomit and urine and bodily fluids. That's not what we're talking about. The details are very important because that's a very important aspect of it. And it's not to shame someone. That's not what it's for. It's like, how did we get there? That's really what we're looking at. How did we get to the point where you're drinking yourself into oblivion and you no longer care about what's going on with yourself physically or emotionally, and you've lost your ability to be aware of how it's affecting other people. It's an important study, and it's not to disparage somebody at all. It's to learn from it and to realize if you see something like that in a loved one or if you see that in yourself, That's not a road you want to go down. Okay, danger, caution. Okay, if you see these types of things going on in your life, that's when it's time to take action and start working on yourself. Or it's time to support that person in your life in the correct way. Maybe it's time for tough love. It's time to take action and create boundaries so that person doesn't go down the road that Amanda did. And really, the last thing I want to say, people ask me all the time, did you love Amanda? Because they think I'm just sitting here disparaging her and telling these god-awful stories. And they are really horrible stories. But here's the thing. You love the person. You don't love the disease. The disease takes everything away. It takes your personality away. It took away who she was. It took away her physicality. It took the kindness that she was. Because the disease, it's a very selfish, narcissistic disease. It just is. You become very self-absorbed because it becomes, certainly in the later stages, it becomes about, everything is about getting alcohol, consuming alcohol, and recovering from alcohol. And that becomes kind of your life. And I don't want other people to go through that. And if you recognize that's going on in yourself, well, it's time to make a change. So I really, really hope that makes sense. Yes, of course we loved Amanda. I loved Amanda. How could you not? She was a very kind, loving, warm, friendly person, very outgoing, and she was a wonderful friend to those who were her friends. For those who were lucky enough to know her, they know what I'm talking about. So it's not to disparage, it's to grow from. And I think if Amanda was sitting next to me, she would be very proud at the accomplishments that we've done thus far and in the direction that this is going. I know she would be. And someday we'll find out. Again, thanks for listening. Really, the last thing I want to point out, again, her memoir is called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. You can find it on this page. There's a link tree. You can go right to my website, and there's also an international link if you live outside the United States. Again, it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble, and it's on the Apple website if you want the ebook. It's also on Amazon if you want the hard copy. Again, I have a complete coaching program. Set up a breakthrough call. Link is in the bio. It takes about 45 minutes. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free. The course is definitely not, but I'm looking for people who want to change their life and the life of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.